Greetings and salutations, Minecraft fans. It's Collins. Today I'm going to attempt my first ever modded Minecraft tutorial. What we're going to do is we are going to look at thermal expansion and automate the machines to make redstone energy cells, resonant energy cells, Tesseract frames, and the like. It's one of the hardest machines to get automated that I've found, and we're going to do it a couple ways. So this is applied Energistics, and this is a basic applied to the Energistics system. I don't even have a molecular assembly chamber. We just have simple storage, crafting terminal, and then the controllers hooked up to a creative energy cell. And then over here is logistics pipes. It's also hooked up to a creative energy cell. We just have to a request table, and then a diamond chest is the default route that everything goes into. So we're going to set this up. I'll go ahead and show you how to do the Redstone Energy Cell frame. So one thing I did is I took a Magma Crucible and I took one piece of redstone and stuck it in here, and it made 100 millibuckets of destabilized redstone. And if we look, let's grab our components over here. Let's start off with the AE system. So we want to take an empty energy cell frame and make it full. And what we have to do is we have to use the Magma Crucible and the fluid transposer. And this is the trickiest part about automating these, is I need to put one set of ingredients into two different machines. Now the Magma Crucible needs the redstone, the fluid transposer needs to get the liquid redstone, and then the energy cell frame, and then output the results. So the first thing we need to do let's go ahead and plop our machines down here. So our Magma Crucible, I already ran some Ender IO Conduit. This is just to make it easier. The Magma Crucible is going to turn our redstone into liquid redstone, and then we're going to feed it into the fluid transposer. And I'll go ahead and set this up. So we want to output into the other machine, and let's go ahead and input from the back. And then this one we want input from here, and then we also want input from the back. And I'll shut this stuff off just to be safe. And the easiest way that I found to do this with applied Energistics is to just go ahead and use an item router from MineFactory Reloaded. And then we need a basic interface to connect the machine, and we need some way to conduit items. So we take our ME interface, and then we're going to hook it up to an item router. And I'm just going to set one over here so we can look at it, for example. And then we use any type of wrench to point this so the arrow points at the item router. There we go. And then for ME, even though I don't have a molecular assembly chamber, we still need a pattern that's going to go in this basic interface. And so I have a pattern encoder, which doesn't need to be attached to the ME system. And we're going to tell it, you take an empty redstone energy cell frame and 40 redstone, and you put those out, you're going to get a full energy cell. We'll go ahead and encode that. Let me just clear this out so things aren't grayed out here. Okay, so now I have a pattern that says one empty frame and 40. Why does it say one redstone? Dang you. 40 redstone. Okay. So now I have a pattern that says one empty energy cell frame and 40 redstone will get a full energy frame, and we're going to put that into this ME interface. And it's got the arrows pointed, so what it's going to do is it's going to feed those items into this item router. And if we look over here, we have this red side which is facing this way, and that's what's going to go into this fluid transposer. So now we want to program the item router and tell it on the red side that's where you put the empty energy cell frames. And then over on this green side is the other side, and we want to tell it to bring the red side out on the green. And then you can use any conduit you want. You can use any power conduits you want. I'm just going to use one of these Ender IO conduits because it's really easy to set up. And I'm going to say extract everything, stick it in this machine. Okay, so now we told ME this is how you make the frame. You put these components out this interface, and then they'll go over here. And then the last thing we need to do is we need to get stuff back into the system. So on this output, I can actually tell it to just output over here. And this is another thing that I've recently learned. So what I used to do is I used to just have like a ender chest with the import bus and then just stick like an ender chest next to everything. But you can actually feed stuff back into this ME interface. So if I tell this thing to extract the results and import them into this interface, that's going to work too. So now we think we have everything set up we need. So if I look in here now, it says I can craft the Redstone Energy Cell frame. And let's take everything out. Well, let's take the components that we don't cancel. Yeah. So if we put 40 redstone and 1 empty frame in there, now we should be able to tell it, let me put the rest of this stuff away, craft this Redstone Energy Cell frame. And begin. And then we can come over here real quick. It's got redstone. It put them in there. We put the empty frame in there. When it gets 4,000, it's going to fill it up, and then it's going to put it back into this ME interface. This ME interface has this export config. So like if I stick a redstone in here, we took all the redstone out of the system. Now it shows up in there. So when this thing gets done getting 4 buckets of redstone, it'll fill up this frame. It's going to output it back into this ME interface and the export items, and then we'll have our empty frame. And that's going to take a second. So let's break this down while this is working and go over and take a look at how we do this with logistics pipes, because it's a little bit different with logistics pipes. It's a similar setup. So we have our Magma Crucible and our fluid transposer, and we're going to need a crafting logistics pipe, and we're going to need one of these satellite logistics pipes. And I'm just going to go ahead and set these up right here. So there's the crafting one, and there's the satellite one. And let's make it daytime again. And then our fluid transposer goes on the crafting one, and our Magma Crucible goes on the satellite pipe. And then we're going to set these up again. So again, we want to input from the back. We're going to output on the side to feed the liquid redstone into here. We are going to input from here, also input from the back. And I think we can do this with sneaky pipes, where this interface will know to just pull stuff around. We'll find out in a second. And let's see if this is done. It took all the liquefied redstone, put it in there, and this is the energy cell frame, the full one that we took out of here, so there wasn't one in here before, and now there is. So that actually worked really well. Let's throw all this back in here for now, and we'll finish up with logistics pipes. So logistics pipes is a similar thing. We want to take our 40 redstone, we want to take a full cell, and we want to take an empty cell. And we don't use a program, we don't create like a pattern. What we do is we do it directly on the logistics pipe. So you put a wrench in your hand, and again I got power cable strung underneath here for ease of use. And we use this crafting logistics pipe. And we say input redstone energy cell frame, and you will get a full one. And what we're going to do with this 40 redstone is we tell it satellite pipe, and then we have to turn that on. So this is our satellite pipe. We have to give it an ID. Let's call it 2. And then over here, satellite pipe 2. So logistics pipes will do this automatically. We don't need a third party. We don't need this item router. We just tell logistics pipes, this is your crafting pipe. Put the redstone energy cell frame empty in here. Take the 40 redstone and stick it in satellite pipe number 2, which is this one, which is going to feed it into our Magma Crucible and fill it up. And then I still have to figure out what it wants to do. So here's the difference between logistics pipes and applied energistics that's really key to how this works. This crafting pipe has to bring the input back in from the crafting pipe. So if it says I want to make a redstone energy cell frame full, and it spits these items out, it's waiting for the result to come back into this particular pipe. And this little pipe will flash forever if we if it doesn't get the item back on this pipe. ME doesn't really care, because we can feed the results back into the ME interface that has the recipe. We can feed it into an ender chest. ME doesn't care. it spit items out, and then as long as the result comes into the ME system in any way, it's fine. But logistics pipes works a little differently. You have to have this crafting logistics pipe when the recipe comes in, the result has to go back into that crafting logistics pipe. And we might need a couple gold pipes to make that work, but we'll find out in a second here. So let's put all this stuff back. So we have 2 stacks plus 40, and we have 32 empty frames, and we have 1 full frame in here. Now if I go ahead and do the same thing over here, let's request 1, because I have 1 in inventory, and then I'll request another one, and it's going to do the same thing. So there's my 40 redstone, and there's my energy cell frame, and what did I do wrong? I didn't get the power far enough over. Alright, let's string power. That's not too hard to do. Just go ahead and smash these out, get power in here. There we go. Now they're powered up. So it's turning the redstone into liquefied. It's going to fill up this frame. Do we have some pipes? We can use basic logistics pipes if this doesn't work. So this crafting logistics pipe is flashing right now because it put ingredients out and it's waiting for the result to come back. So we have to find out what this is going to do when it gets 4 buckets in there. So let's wait for that and we'll be back. So here 4,000, almost there, and now it's going to fill up the fluid transposer. It's going to fill it up, and there it goes, and it's still going to take a little bit. But we'll go ahead and wait for it because I'm not exactly sure what this is going to do. And it filled it up, and the logistics pipe network was smart enough to know that even though the output is on the top, this does a function called sneaky pipes, where this pipe attached to the back can fake out the TE machine into thinking that it's also attached to the top for the output results. So we took the 1 energy cell frame full we had out of the system, and it crafted it, and where the heck did it go? Oh, it went in here because I requested it. So there we go. That's how we do it in logistics pipes, using a crafting logistics pipe and a satellite logistics pipe, and the crafting logistics pipe can pull from other faces. So all you really have to do with the TE machine is program the output face to be any side that's not attached to something else. You know, I can't put another machine that'll input stuff or a chest up here, and I don't want to feed pipes into it like this because that'll break it. The result has to come from the crafting logistics pipe, and it will know that even though the output's on the top, it can fake the machine out and come out there. Over here with the ME, we did have to use a third party, so we used the Mine Factory Reloaded item router. You could use a diamond transport pipe or whatever else you want to. Actually, you can't use a diamond transport pipe. You'd have to go wooden pipe and then diamond pipe because it won't pump out of the interface. But the item router is the easiest way to do it. So that's how we set up our Magma Crucible and our fluid transposer in logistics pipes and in applied Energistics. Hopefully this is something that will help you guys automate either of these machines, whichever system you use for crafting. So you can get these systems, either logistics pipes or applied Energistics, to automatically craft this stuff. And I hope that helped everybody out, because it actually helped me to learn how to do this, and it took me a couple times to get it done right. But that's my tutorial. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody who likes and subscribes, and we'll catch you guys later.